Hey guys, kind of peeking over the roof here. Welcome. We're gonna do a bit of just hanging out, chatting, having a good time, working on this roof, seeing if we can get things finished. So, did a little prep work, but nothing exciting. I basically just cut that. Oh, and I've got my lovely assistant here with me today, so that's going to be helpful. And I've got my got my buddy Lambo here. We're babysitting today. Hello, I know. Yes, I know. Okay, but I can't do this with you sitting in my lap, bud. Okay? All right, you gonna hang out in the chair next to me? Cool. All right, so I basically just quartered the poster board, cut it into quarters so that, because the whole poster board is just unwieldy to deal with up here. And it turns out that this is going to be a reasonably good size to get started with gluing this all together. So I wasn't really careful with the cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here. And I can always trim it up with some scissors later. But I really just want to get this set up so that it can start drying. We're going to have a lot of dry time today, so while things are drying, we're also going to work on this part, see if we can make some progress on that little back shed thing. So we'll get going on that. So first thing I'm going to do is where's my regular white glue? I don't want the watered down white glue. Get my white glue out, and we're just going to glue the poster board on here. Holler out if you guys are having trouble hearing or can't see anything or have any questions. I'm happy to answer, chat, just hang out and be together, you know. So, and I've got the chat basically right in front of me here, so, and it's very big for old eyes, so I should be able to see it okay. But just holler out if you have any questions. Now, so this is, and again, also on this poster board, I wasn't careful with cutting straight or any kind of precision marking. I just basically creased the poster board in half, cut it, creased that in half, cut it, so I got quarters, and wasn't terribly interested in how exact I was with it, because I'm probably just going to trim it. Also, this is just underneath support structure stuff, so not terribly important that it's accurate. Well, this is going to be a challenge. Alright, so I'm going to have to sit here and hold this until it dries enough to... So while I'm sitting here just holding things, let's chat. So tomorrow we are going to, tonight at 5 o'clock, we're going to be doing, kind of need 4 or 5 hands for this. We're going to be doing some board games tonight. D&D is every other week, so that'll be back. The kids will be back playing D&D next week. I'm trying to get all of the previous episodes up on the channel so you guys can catch up. I think I've gotten to 16. So I think there's like 3 more back episodes before next week's live show. So I'm going to try to get all those up this week so that we're all caught up. And well, I didn't think about this problem. So tonight we'll be playing some type of board game. I haven't been informed of what we'll be playing yet, so I'm not really sure. I don't know. Caitlin, do you know? Did anybody talk to you about what we're playing tonight? Okay. Some kind of board game. Anyway. Then tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, Caitlin's going to start her art show. So she is going to be doing some drawing and painting tomorrow, live at 1 o'clock Eastern. So you guys come in, hang out, and chat, and I'll probably be sitting in here trying to help her with all the technical stuff. So I'll be hanging out too, so we can chat and you can watch her do her little art stuff. If you guys saw the the little art in the opening. She drew all that for us.
It's very bad.
No, it's really good, baby. And if you look at the art on the channel page on Twitch, she did all that artwork. So I'm really proud of her, and I think it's really good. So there's that. All right, let's see if this will stick enough for us to. No.
I barely lifted my hand and I just keep.
Well, that's a bummer.
I'm getting stabbed by this stupid glue.
Well, I can fix that. All right, so.
Yeah, this keeps on moving back and forth.
That's okay. It'll get stuck in a minute. All right, so.
Do I have to keep holding this?
Well, this one seems to be drying up pretty good. All right, let me see how we're doing over here.
The bottoms are coming up though.
The bottoms are coming up. Oh no, I hate when the bottoms come up.
Why are you just staring at that?
All right, I think that's good enough that where I can get some glue on the other side.
I don't know. Oh.
Oh, well, that just completely came apart. Okay, I didn't think about this part. How are we going to anchor this down while it's drying?
Legos.
Legos aren't going to work. I can't see a way that Legos would work. So, let's see here. What can we do? Well, first of all, I'm going to get some glue on this other side so that it can start getting tacky a little bit, so this won't be such a pain.
Maybe you should have waited or not put as much glue on because you globbed the glue on.
No, I just put little bits on. There's not much on there. So, wow.
What? What's what?
This is a bigger pain than I thought it was going to be. Huh. So, all right. So while we're dealing with this side, we'll let that get tacky a little bit, so that'll be easier.
Wait, what? I moved my hand, and
never move your hand.
No. I moved my hand, and it didn't show up in there. But I could see 3 hands, and yours were moving, and then I was moving mine, and mine wasn't moving, and I was like, how does that have 3 hands? Oh, this one was the hand. Oh, this one was the hand. Also,
that was.
I just got.
Oh, good. Well, since you already got glue, let me wipe my, because I just stuck my finger in it. So,
Don't get glue on the table.
This is kind of a pain. I'm trying not to get it on my shirt. It won't get on the table, and even if it does, it's just white glue. It'll come off.
Along with the paint.
No. Don't take the paint off, you goof. You know there's paper towels right there you can get and wipe your arm off if you want to.
Thank you. I didn't see it.
Interesting problem. Is that going to stay good enough for...
No. Right here is...
Well, it didn't matter if it's...
All 3 of those.
Okay, I think it'll be okay because honestly, this is just... it's just a way to kind of tie these together so they don't flop around because this is all going to get covered over with that towel, and that's all going to be kind of coated in glue and stuff, so I think it'll be pretty firm then. As long as we can just get this to kind of stick. There must be something we can lean up against it or something to kind of hold it down. Let's get this other side on and see what happens.
And hope that it's tacky enough.
Well, it's not going to immediately stick, but it won't be. It'll have some tack to it.
Ooh,
Tact? No, just tack. I have no tact. Pull this up a little.
You have no tactic.
Whoa. Quit pushing.
I'm not trying to. I'm just trying.
Hold the other side if you're going to push. Goober. Alright, so now, hey, it's actually starting to look like a roof. Instead of just a bunch of weird shaped sticks. Awesome.
Later there's gonna be even more weird shaped sticks on here.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is fun. So we'll just sit here and hold together glued stuff all day. Yay. No, we gotta figure out some kind of way to do something about something here. What are we gonna do? What, you're my assistant. You're supposed to come up with all the answers.
You're the one doing this.
But you're smarter than me.
Yay.
Yay doesn't help. If we just get something that we can lean, it doesn't have to be round. We just need something we can kind of lean up against this to kind of hold it down so that it doesn't just completely come up. The other thing I could have done that probably would have helped is rolled these pages a little bit so that they were already bent this way. That would have probably been a smart idea. So, you know, if you're playing along at home, probably do that first. That'd be easier. You don't have to roll it real tight, but roll it just to get some curve in it so that it just kind of lays here instead of you having to push it down. All right, so let's see. The other problem is, where are we going to put this while it's drying?
You did not think this. I wish one of these shows were.
Well, I mean, I had a chair right here, but it's been usurped by a puppy.
That chair, I can bring it over. I can let go of this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, go bring that chair over. Awesome assistant. Awesome assistant girl.
Also, you need to move your stuff off the floor because.
If you put it up under the table, how am I going to set stuff on it? No.
I'm sure Lando doesn't have it.
Bring it over here where I can reach it. Goober.
Okay.
Goober.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alright, here's the towel. I have to put that over there.
Don't. Oh, that
It fell.
fell on your tab.
Alright, so we are going to see if we can move this over here so it can dry. We'll get back to that in a little bit because we're going to have to cut the hole in it for the chimney and figure all that out. So, yay, but we'll let it dry for a little bit. Alright. Now, this thing, I really don't know what I want to do with it. So, I need to finish up putting the wood pieces on.
Dad, this is right here, okay?
Okay.
The
In
chair's
fact,
right
can you
over.
hand me that? Because I kind of need it to figure out what I'm going to do with this.
Yeah, but I'm not going to stay over here. I have to be over there.
I know.
So you're going to have to.
It's okay. Alright. So this piece actually goes here. Which means... Alright, so we want to finish off this part. We need to finish off this part and do the stuff over here. So we got a lot of wood cutting and gluing to do. Then we gotta figure out about the roof. Now I could do another thatched roof type thing here. That's probably what I'm gonna want to do. So
Here.
we'll do a thatched roof type thing here. All right, but first, before we do that, we need to get these things all cut up. So I brought some of those down here, and these are, oh god, these are so hard to cut.
What are
The popsicle sticks,
they?
they're in there. Can I have that,
Sorry.
please?
Can I move this?
Stacking your Kindle on top of my stuff. What's wrong with you? Oh, I forgot to make myself some coffee. Darn. How are we gonna have a coffee and chat if I'm?
I can't make some coffee. I don't know how. Which one's the bottom drawer or the middle drawer?
I think it's the one. I don't know. I can't see it from here. I think it's the bottom.
I think so too. It's the popsicle sticks, not the really skinny ones?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So like these.
Right.
I don't know. There's multiple
Yeah, here we go.
kinds.
All right. So it's these things we were doing, not these things. What? So we'll get a bunch of these.
Don't do that. He's leaving now. Don't leave. Diane, don't do that. He wants you. Yes, it is.
Everybody fights over the dogs when they come.
No
My
one
wife
wants
is
to take
actually
you.
I don't know if you guys have Rover where you are, but it's a company that allows pet sitters and dog walkers and stuff to do things online, and so she's a member of Rover, and we have a lot of dogs come over here and hang out with us, and it's kind of cool. A lot of cool dogs. We have a lot of repeats. So this dude's over here because his pets had to go to a funeral today, so they had to bring him over here to hang out with us.
His pets had to go to
Uh-huh.
the funeral.
Yeah, his pets.
Oh.
So he's hanging out with us today, and he's one of my favorite buddies. All right, so we're gonna chop the tops off of these things.
Don't tell every dog else that.
Yeah, every dog else. All right, so flatten off the tops, and then we'll figure out how long we need them. We need quite a few, and this.
It's in the keyboard.
Those go everywhere. You gotta have a real kind of heavy pair of scissors if you're gonna do this with scissors, because these popsicle sticks are not easy to get through. They're pretty thick wood.
Are these the same type of wood?
Yeah. Well, they're just not as wide, so they're a little bit easier to cut. But anywho, just be aware if you're gonna do this like I'm doing it. This is a pretty hefty pair of scissors. And you also want a big handle so that you've got a lot of torque and can put a lot of pressure on it, because they're hard to cut. Something like this would be almost impossible to cut those with, because it's very thin, kind of lightweight, and there's not a lot of heft in the handle. So get something like, at least like this. I mean, they make bigger ones that make it even easier, but like shears and stuff. Assistant's over here making a mess.
Can I just dump these in?
Yeah. What a
neat.
goof.
They were all really neat before.
I had everything all nice and neat, and then the assistant comes and messes it all up. Way to go. All right, let's see how we're doing here. I don't know exactly how many more we're gonna need. I think let's get the front side done up first, because that's gonna be easiest. I don't have to cut any angles. So
That's what noise came out of my trumpet the first time I played it.
what?
More like, and then once it actually made a sound, I
Well,
went.
trumpets are hard, and you were what, in 3rd grade when you started trying to play that? It's pretty young for a kid to try to learn to play something like that.
I was 2
All right.
years younger that she first allowed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you were in 3rd grade when you started playing.
So for this, I'm at 4th year. 10, 9, 8. I was 6 or 7. And I was 3 when I started playing violin.
Yeah.
Or 4.
We had to get her. She was really little when she started playing violin. We had to get her, what was it, like an 1/8 size or something?
It was a 14-inch violin.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but there are like, for real, violins that are like this big,
I don't
that are like real violins that tiny little kids play, and we had to get her one of those.
like that.
Yeah, it's, I mean, not including the neck, but it was,
Probably
oh
less.
god, it looked like a toy.
It was less.
Weird.
Including the fingerboard, it was probably a foot.
It was so tiny.
Now I have
But
the
she
full
was tiny
size.
when she started playing,
I have the full
because she had to be like her big sisters.
almost 7 years, and I'm still going.
Yeah, and you're doing really good. I keep trying to get them to because all three of them play, and they all play violin, and then they all play other instruments. Caitlin plays trumpet.
I'm the only one in my family.
Yeah, and Rhiannon plays flute, and Diane is a percussionist. So they've got a lot of music going on in there. And
we also played piano for a while.
Yeah.
And we sing.
But the twins started doing violin, and she had to be like her big sisters, so...
And then they were going to do band, and she said, I won't allow anybody younger than like 8, because at first she only allowed like 9-year-olds, I think, and then somebody came in who was 8 and really wanted to do it, so she let 8-year-olds do it. And then I came in when I was 7, and I really, 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 really wanted to do it because
her big sisters were doing it.
Rhiannon and Diane were doing it, and so she opened it up to 7-year-olds. Like, she kept it
just
at 8.
For you.
She let me go in. She let me do it. But I think she kept it at 8 for a little bit longer, maybe like a year, and then she opened it to 7-year-olds.
Because you did so good that she said, "Oh, 7-year-olds can do this too."
And then
I'm
all
just
of
bragging
them
on
were
my
worse
kid,
than me,
you know.
and
Because my kids are the best kids. Just like if you guys out there have kids, your kids are the best kids, right?
Or your parents.
Alright, so
I thought you pushed all these over.
we get this all finished up. This is actually going a little bit smoother than I had anticipated. Although my thumb's starting to hurt because I put a lot of pressure on here. I don't know that you could do this because this takes quite a bit of pressure.
I've cut a ton of popsicle sticks before.
You have? Well, that's right. You are pretty crafty.
I like drawing and sketching and painting way more than crafts. But I've done quite a few crafts in my lifetime.
Yep.
And quite a few of those few crafts involved popsicle sticks.
So I'm just going to spread some glue on here rather than each popsicle stick because it's easier.
Time for that.
It just makes my life easier, and you know, I'm all for making my life easier. All right, and then we just lay these on there, and there we go.
Lambo's seat.
That'll take a while to dry. I put a little too much glue on there, getting some squishing through, but that's all right. Yeah, I'm gonna need a paper towel. A paper towel.
One or
just one.
Because these are the small kind.
Yeah, that's fine. I just need to wipe my finger
You
off.
got it on me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me wipe this off on you.
There's nothing there.
That's why you're an assistant. You assist me in being my glue wiping apparatus. Right? That's the reason you're down here, is to wipe the glue off my hand, isn't it?
No.
No? Wait, what?
I'm gonna use all your paints tomorrow.
No. You don't use those paints for
No,
painting. Do you?
No, I don't take your paints.
No, I don't care that you take my paints, but I mean that's not the kind you use, is it?
I use acrylic paint.
Oh, yeah, but not these cheapy ones.
I don't have any money.
You don't? I thought you had like a top shelf job. We're making
I do have
6 figures a year. I thought you were a multimillionaire.
I do have money, but I'm getting allowance, and I'm saving up.
I know.
So I'm not gonna go spend money on paints until I get my house.
Yeah, she's all about the mouse right now. She's got to have a mouse. Not sure where that came from, but whatever.
I don't know either. I just saw a video that I used to watch this girl that does pets, and I saw a video of her showing her mice, and then I was like, I want a mouse.
Yeah.
I want a mice. And
So,
I wanted
wasn't
it
quite
from
what I planned.
January 2017. I didn't get anything for Christmas 2017. And then I got a ton of stuff for Christmas this year. And I was so happy. I was like, this means I get to get a mouse. I have to clean my room first. Though.
Yes. You have to have a place to put that mouse. We're transferring her room.
Into my old room.
Yeah, well, she used to be. See, we got 3 bedrooms upstairs, but all the girls wanted to be together when they were younger, so we actually have. There's a bunk bed attached to a loft bed in their room, and all 3 of them would sleep in that room, which was fine until, you know, the older 2 got older, and Caitlin wanted her own room, and so she started hanging out in the guest room,
which I still sleep in.
which she still sleeps in.
Until
And
well,
what was the playroom is being cleaned out because they're too old for a playroom anymore. They don't do much in it, and that's going to become her room. So they're going through all the stuff.
When we first got it, when we first moved in, I remember it was my nursery, and then it moved into my room when I got the trundle bed.
Yeah,
And
because you were
then
actually
I moved-
born in this house. Well,
Yeah.
not in the house. We were living in this house. We had just moved into this house, and Mommy was pregnant with you when we moved here, and I don't know, less than a week after we moved into this house, you were born. I remember that because her mom had to stay here to meet the guy that was delivering the sofa because Wendy went into labor right when the guy was supposed to be delivering our new sofa after we moved into this house. So it was kind of weird. Right,
But it was my room. It was my nursery, then my room when I was a toddler, and then I got scared, and then I went into my sister's room, and now I'm in the guest room, and now I'm moving me back into my old room /
Yeah, so you're inheriting your cousin's bunk bed that my dad built, and no, not really. So I think, yeah, I need one more of these here. Okay. So I'm kind of having to cut these at an angle so that they kind of fit down here, and then I gotta see how long each one of these is gonna be. Not being terribly precise with the angle because it really doesn't matter that much. Just trying to get it. It's a bit less than 45 degrees. Well, actually quite a bit less than 45 degrees. But, you know, I'm just trying to get it close to the slope of the roof because if we put that towel over here, it's going to kind of go over it anyway, so it doesn't have to be exact.
You're wrong. It's 90 degrees.
You're 90 degrees.
It's 360.
You're 360. 360 crazy. One of the shallower ones for that. Alright, so we are going to. Alright, so that one. There. This is going to take a little longer because I have to cut and glue each one of these as they go, or I won't know where to cut them. So.
Didn't you already do that part? Or was it on the other side?
It was on the other side.
Oh, I was very, very confused.
You were very confused. So these, I can't make my life easier. I just have to put the glue on each one of these.
Ooh, hello, Mr. Noob and Young Noob.
Hello, Jens.
I missed
Welcome
that.
back.
We missed that.
Yep. Well, we were too busy talking with each other, I guess, having fun, and we didn't look up at the chat. But hey, how are things over there? How is weather in Sweden? I guess it's probably cold because.
How are you today?
I am very good, thank you. How are you? And it's Emily, right? Did I say that right? Did I get that right?
Oh.
I'm not even entirely sure. But how's your girlfriend doing? And how are you doing? I'm glad you showed up today.
How's the world doing?
How is the world doing?
Not that great.
Yes, thank you, sir. Well, I tried. I probably butchered pronunciation, but I am an untraveled Southern American after all. I can barely pronounce English, much less other languages.
Oh. I can barely pronounce English.
Huh.
That's where I get it
I can
from.
barely do the English pronunciations.
I speak English good.
So what is weather like right now up in Sweden? Because we had this, I don't know if you saw, but the Midwest in the U.S. had a polar vortex come
What?
through. A polar vortex. It's really cold weather from the Arctic came through, and like Chicago last week was at like minus 20 degrees, which is, I mean, for the Midwest in the United States, that's highly unusual. I'm sure, Sweden, especially northern Sweden, is used to negative minus 20 Fahrenheit. I have no idea what Celsius is because, once again, imperial system. But I'm sure that Sweden is
pretty cold here as well lately, about 15.
minus 15 C. So I'll have to look that up and see what that is in Fahrenheit because I have absolutely no idea how cold that actually is. So
Well, freezing is 0 in Celsius.
that is true.
So
See, we're trying to teach the next generation some metric here. I'm trying to make sure they can start keeping up with the rest of the world. But yeah, I really don't have a sense for what that equates to in Fahrenheit.
No, it's not focusing. Why is it not focusing?
Focus.
Focus. I think minus 15 degrees Celsius is about 5.
Oh, so that, I mean,
That's
yes, that's cold, to be sure. But yeah, I felt so bad for those people in the Midwest because that was, minus 20 Fahrenheit is really cold. They were doing that thing where you can throw water in the air and it instantly boils. It won't hit the ground because it just boils off. It's so cold, which usually you make water hot to boil, but whatever. But yeah, it was nasty. So I felt for those people. We had our big cold chill here, and it got to like 50 Fahrenheit, which is just a little less than room temperature.
Which is cold for us. Very cold.
Yeah, for us that's like,
Dying.
oh my gosh, get the parkas out down here in Florida. But then we do have, the days where it's 99 degrees outside in the summer, so we do have to deal with that.
Or maybe 105.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in the past year it's hit over 105. Ooh, yeah, I think I saw a picture.
Oh, is that like minus 59 C? Yeah, I think the scales are a little, narrower in Celsius than Fahrenheit, but yeah, that is scary cold. I've got one of my coworkers actually works in Utah, and she said it was ridiculous cold last week. Like fatally cold. You can't go outside. I mean, you have to be really careful when you go outside because you can freeze to death in like 15 minutes or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why is there an R on the back?
On the back of what? Oh. I had that so I'd know which side was which. My little notes on here, she was asking about that when I was building the thing. So, Yeah, it definitely is dangerous. Oi!
I just realized I'm using this as a blanket.
You-
I didn't even notice.
well, it's going to get cut up before too long.
No.
So, I don't know how early you got on, Jens, but we are working on the roof, but we put some... we put the poster board over the framing, and we're letting that dry. And honestly, that was that was the first 20 minutes of us streaming was just holding that poster board down until it got tacky enough. That was I didn't plan that very well, but c'est la vie. I guess I know that French, huh? Oh, I wanted to ask you, after our last stream, just because I like learning about other people's cultures and things that I don't know and how other people get along in the world. Oh, yeah, this is like the back back porch thing, their storage shed.
I'm not going to be done with the tavern for a while.
Well, it's getting close.
I know, but like, at least
So anyway... is right. So the so you're in Sweden, correct? I got that right? Not Switzerland, like I said last time. That's a different country.
He was like, but it's Sweden. Thanks.
So the Swiss language, is it just called Swiss? And I was wondering, is it because of your girlfriend's name, which sounds very French to me, would Swiss sound to Americans more like French or more like German? Because I know I've been to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and that sounds very German to American ears. So I just was wondering what kind of accent maybe an American would hear from a native Swiss speaker. Is it Swiss?
This isn't a very good blanket. The main thing that's cold is my feet. Do you speak French and Swiss? No.
I honestly don't know. Closer to German, so like the Netherlands, like Amsterdam, it would be kind of the same kind of sounding language. It's a kind of a Germanic type sound to it. Yeah. I mean, you don't live in Amsterdam, so how would you know, right? All right, so we're gonna get this other side. So what part of Switzerland do you live in? North, south, middle? That's a pretty long country. Why do I say Switzerland? What part of Sweden do you live in? Yeah, Dutch is something else, but to Americans it sounds very... It sounds a lot like German, the languages. I mean, they may be completely different, like Spanish and Portuguese, but it's to Americans who don't actually speak it, it sounds very similar. At least to me.
I've never heard any of those languages, so I'm...
Central Sweden, yeah. So what do you guys... So I don't know how, deep winter in the north and spring in the south. Yeah, I guess the north is very... I mean, it's inside the Arctic Circle, I think, isn't it? Does the north of Sweden get quite to the Arctic Circle? Because that's pretty much all winter all the time, almost, isn't it? Northern Sweden, all winter, all the time. You're like Northern Canada. Oh, you don't get up there, huh? I can't say I blame you. I probably wouldn't travel that way myself. So around where you live, what kind of things do people do for fun around there? What's a day like? Is it very very much like you see in the movies that Americans are? Or? Oh yeah, so it's
Whoa, that's
yeah, because there's parts of Alaska where like 6 months of the year or something it's always like it never gets lighter than dusk or something. It's crazy. But I just wonder, because European countries are much older than America, so I don't know if there's
exactly.
I don't know if there's like, because Japan went through this period of westernization where they really liked.
What's a snowmobile?
Oh, snowmobile. What's a snowmobile?
What is that?
It's the little like 4-wheeler type things that go on the snow. They have skis on the front, and you see people in the movies riding them. They get on and just zoom around in the snow.
What?
Yeah, oh. She never seen snow in real life.
We've seen a light dusting of snow, but not anywhere close to like it.
So, but like, if when you guys go out on dates or hang out with your friends and stuff, what do you? I mean, I don't know how old you are, but what do you do for? Okay, so there's snowmobiles. Some more education. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in, man. It's good to see you. Tell Emily hi. That I hope she's doing well.
How many more popsicle sticks do you need?
Well, just as many as we did.
The other side.
And I hope you have a great day, man.
We are in our late 30s. We live in a pretty small village, so we have much to do.
Oh, time for some more education. Did you mean you had to leave? I thought you meant you had to leave.
No, he was gonna tell you.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm not tracking. I haven't had my second cup of coffee.
Mostly at home playing games.
Oh, yeah? Like video games or board games?
Both.
Cool.
Oh,
So
I predicted his answer.
You did. So would like what's your favorite board game? I know that the board game craze really kind of centered in Germany around Essen and kind of spread in Europe first, and there's Euro games and then there's what they call Ameritrash games. There's two primary types of board games. I'm sure you can see behind me I've got a million board games. In fact, I had a whole YouTube channel that was pretty much devoted to board games, but so I really like them. But what are some of your favorites?
He's also closer to your age, which I didn't even realize. I thought he may have been younger.
Oh, he's not nearly as old as me. I'm like completely old.
He just said he was in his late 30s.
Yeah.
You're not that much older than him, and you're not that old.
But I'm in my late 90s.
No, you're not. For longer game nights, I really enjoy.
Talisman, that's cool.
For shorter games, I like Ticket to Ride.
Ticket and Settlers, those are great games. I've watched Settlers play it. I've never actually played it myself because I know my wife wouldn't. She had no interest in that game. She doesn't like those kind of bartering, trading type things.
I don't like that.
She likes Ticket to Ride, so we've got that. But so that's cool. So is the winter? I'm assuming they're in Sweden that they are pretty much used to dealing with snow, and so you don't get a whole lot of snowed in. It's not abnormal for lots of snow, so right. So you don't have to spend a lot of time saying, "Oh gosh, I can't get to work because snow." Because if there was ever a snowflake here in Florida, people would lose their minds.
It actually snowed one time when I was alive.
In the
At
Panhandle, yeah.
At night.
Not here.
No, I know.
Crazy child.
But in Florida, it snowed.
Yeah, in the Panhandle.
What does that mean?
The top part of Florida, where it's, you know how Florida is like this, and then has that long piece that goes over.
Yeah.
You know how Florida's shaped, right? So that top piece is called the Panhandle because it looks like a panhandle.
They have tractors and such.
Yeah, I kind of figured you would be used to it.
It would be. Everybody would flee the state if a snowflake showed up here.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're not in the same time zone as me. I'm getting near lunch. I forgot it's almost dinner time for you guys.
What is AFK mean?
Away from keyboard. So when you get back, I don't know if you can even still hear me. When you get back, I'd kind of like to know, now that you've mentioned it, what are some popular foods in Sweden?
No.
Because I have no idea. I know it was strange for me to find out that, like, hot dogs are just not really a thing in Europe. That people come over from England and they've never had a hot dog before. And that's just strange because they're so super common here.
Were there any weird foods in Amsterdam?
I wouldn't call them weird. I mean, they're not
But things
not
that
really.
you
There were
had.
sandwiches and well, I'm sure there were, but none of the restaurants we had. Oh, burger and fries. That sounds good. I'm coming to your house for dinner, dude.
You don't even know what I'm making.
Yeah, but he's making burger and fries.
We have hot dogs.
How does that help with you eating that?
Well, it doesn't.
I was gonna make that chicken you like with the
Ooh.
spices and the bacon. Well, not necessarily bacon.
You are most
It's
welcome.
sweet potatoes.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna have the spicy, the paleo thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Do we all have to
Okay, man. Have fun making your burgers. We'll still probably be here when you get back, I'm sure.
Is the date even the same there?
Is he,
The date, yes. It's just later in the evening. It's their dinner time.
is he making burgers?
He's making burgers. Like Shilish.
That's what you said.
I've got Shilish accent.
What if I break these?
Then they'll be broken.
Will you hate me?
Of course not. I would never hate you. I'd have to, beat you up and tie you to the roof of the house or something like that. But I'd never hate you.
Forever?
No, not forever. Just 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Okay.
And I guess I'll break them.
No, you want to get tied to the roof?
No.
You're a weird kid. All right, so we've got all that done. I was dreading doing that, and it actually wasn't all that bad because, well, I guess probably because I had somebody to chat with. So that was nice. It's nice to have some new friends to hang out and chat with. Very cool.
That took a while. What's going on with the roof? Is it messed up?
This? Oh, over there? No, I have no idea. So now we're going to let that dry for a little bit. We're going to clean up our disaster here and put these things away because I don't need those anymore.
Did I do
And we'll
that?
put the bits away because maybe we can use them for something sometime somewhere down the road. Never throw away the good bits. There are some that are kind of cracked and just not worth keeping, but because these things aren't that expensive. But if I've already cut them and they happen to fit somewhere, great. All right, so
You should read these.
I read them.
Okay.
You know what I need? I very much need a little grocery bag to put trash in.
I thought she knew she was your assistant.
My lovely assistant.
This is not
Please.
a good blanket.
Alright, well that's fine because that's about to get cut up. About to get all cut up. Alright, so we're going to see how, once I get all this junk out of the way.
That is disgusting. What is that?
What? This?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I'm
this.
calling disgusting.
Oh, this. She's asking about this stuff.
She's saying it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. It is disgusting. This is, and I don't know if you guys remember this. I did a video on this, 85 years ago or something. This is white vinegar that had steel wool, just raw steel wool soaked in it for several, well, at this point it's been years that it's been sitting here, but you soak it in there for like a week and it turns this into a wood stain. So you brush it on and it'll actually have a chemical reaction with the wood and kind of give it a grayish reddish stain.
So you don't have to get to the bottom. You just need
No.
You need the
You
liquid.
just the liquid.
How do people figure that out?
I don't know. But that's pretty gnarly and gross, isn't it? Ugh.
So I was like, what is that?
And oh god, you don't want to smell it.
Smell this instead.
Smells like death.
Smells like
Well, I don't know. I've never smelled death, but it's really bad. Smells like rotten vinegar, actually.
Why didn't you get closer? Why didn't you?
Alright, get that out of the way. Now, let us see about how we can do a small experiment with the towel here before we do the big roof. Because that'll just be easier. So, we're going to get us a little piece of this towel. Let's see, I want to cut a part that's not going to have to be used for the
Go.
What?
the roof. So
What's going on up there?
roof's kind of big. I'm not sure if I may have put a couple pieces together to do that.
Well, duh.
All right. So let's see.
It looks ridiculous. Those are the leg holes, and Caitlin's looking at the strap holes. So funny.
This was a seat cover that my wife made when the twins were young for
Sam Club
for
carts that
the
had
buggies
two-seaters.
at Sam Clubs for the grocery carts. That's where the girls' legs would go. So she'd put this down so it wasn't all nasty.
They make them for one-seaters, but they
Yeah,
don't.
they don't
I
make 'em
didn't
for
know of their.
twins.
I didn't. At least they didn't then.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Where do I want to cut this?
Up by the where your hand is. Look,
Well, I think
by that strap cut.
I think I'm gonna have to, because otherwise, how much do I need? Actually, I can just take the edge off. No, but I want it this way. Darn. Okay. So let's just see how this works out. Okay, good news. You can cut towels with scissors. And it feels really good because normally you'd get in trouble for this. So it's kind of fun, actually. Cutting up a towel with some scissors. Forbidden fruit type thing.
No.
Going.
You're comparing cutting a towel to forbidden fruit.
It's not allowed, so when you get to do it, I mean, You know, it's fun.
Why is he weird? Oh, there we go.
I'll make this a little bit bigger to start with, and I'll just trim it down to what I need.
You can see the puppy in the back.
Wow, it's really satisfying cutting this. You know those videos you see about things being satisfying?
Like a little sloth.
This is one of those.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Don't eat popsicle sticks.
Hey, how you doing? You want to be on? You want to be on the show?
He's so cute.
You hanging out, being on the show?
Who's this?
Should
Oh,
we?
jeez, he fell.
Should we tell your pets to watch so they can see you?
Your pets? What?
Yeah, his pets, the ones that are at the funeral.
Oh, everything you're saying sounds really bad. Pets. His pets that are at the funeral.
I told him that his pets had to go to a funeral.
But that would be his owners. That just sounds
No,
weird.
those are his pets.
You gave me a bad scratch.
You know he's the boss.
He. Did you tell him who his favorite is too, right?
I just told him he was my buddy. Alright, so that's...
You are his absolute favorite.
Yeah, I am. He always hangs out with me. Every time I sit down in a chair, he's up in my lap. And if I walk out of a room, it doesn't matter who he's with, he follows me.
Don't you? He likes everybody.
He's my buddy.
He likes everybody, but that's the favorite. What are you doing?
I dropped a piece of it.
Yeah, don't drop that.
Alright, so... Let's, So I want to kind of wrap the ends around a little bit, I think, just to kind of finish. But I don't need this hanging. Well, do I want to wrap the ends? How am I going to do this? Is that how I want to do it? Is that the way? Yeah, it probably should be done that way. So I'm going to wrap. Okay, so I probably ought to glue this down
Which was your favorite?
so I know where to cut it. Except I need to straighten this out a bit. Well, that's okay. That's pretty straight. And that's pretty straight. So if I use those edges, I can glue it down there, and then I can trim up the other edges. All right. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Okay. So we get some glue. And I really could use some clothespins. Do you know where any clothespins are?
Yes, she does.
Little Miss Crafty McCrafterson.
You guys cleaned out the crack cabinet. You should. Where are the clothespins? See, did you hear? I do know where they are.
Darn it, I do know, and that means I have
Can
to
you
go
put-
get them.
Can you put his on? It's
All
behind
right,
you.
so we're just gonna glue this up. Oi.
Bring the whole box.
Yeah. All right, this is not. I'm not. This is all jammed up. I'm not worried about getting a lot of glue on here because I'm actually going to put water glue over the whole thing to kind of give it a glue coat. So, what is going on here? So, I'm gonna. Wow, it's got like a glue glob in it. What is the deal? Wow, there it went. So, geez. I don't know what that was all about. There's like a, I don't know, something stuck, the glue had stuck down in there. It was clogging up the whole thing. Stupid glue. So, alright, so let's just get a little bit of glue on there. I just want to kind of tack it down so I can trim it. So I don't need a lot. Because we're going to put wet glue all over it later anyway. Then, where's my straight edge? This side, yes. So we're going to Where's my,
She's hunting down help to get the clothespins.
help to get the clothespins? What, are they heavy or something?
I came with the craft cabinet because I stuffed
Diane left too much stuff in front of the craft cabinet. She made a mess, and now she's gonna be in trouble. Alright, so that's stuck on there, and as soon as I can get some did not want you running all the way down the side there. Stupid thing. Well, that's gonna mess up the staining. Oh well. Not that big a deal. So we'll get this tucked under here. Alright, I've got glue dry in here. Come on now. I think all the glue may have run out of there. Doggone it. Alright. Girlfriend. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Here it is. Here's the big thing. Here it goes. Alright, so we tuck that up under. Alright. Yeah, I think this will actually work pretty well for a thatched roof once I get it all painted up and stuff. I mean, right now it looks like a towel, but where's my clothespins? You put, oh my goodness, you put them in your, she put them in her pocket.
Because
Isn't there a box?
It's literally this big of a box.
No.
Oh no.
We'll just start handing them to me, and I need as many as I need. I won't know until I get them on there. So get. All right. Well, you can find it later.
I found it.
Give me a clothespin, silly girl. All right. Let's see here. All right, so that'll hold that under good enough for the glue to dry. We're going to want to fix the corner there a little bit, but we can do that after. So we've got this. Got this going. I think I just need one more. There we go. All right. So that needs to dry for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be completely dry, but I want to give it a chance to set up before I start trimming.
Don't you also have to put glue on it and then paint it?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Do you know how much longer you're gonna be?
Until I run out of stuff that I can do. One of the issues with this type of craft is that there's a whole lot of waiting for things to dry. I mean, just a lot.
Years to finish.
Well, that's only if you don't work on it for 4 years. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? You think this will be pretty good for a thatched roof? I mean, imagine that kind of tan and brown and stuff. All, tans and browns.
Without clothespins.
Without clothespins. I mean, I think that make a pretty good thing. So, now we need to do this kind of full scale. Oh no, I gotta cut the hole for the
chimney.
Actually, I can do that once the towel's on, because I gotta cut them both anyway. So, let's do that. Let's do that. Alright, so we're going to put this over here to dry a little bit.
I'm armed with a bunch of clothespins.
You're armed and dangerous. And we shall bring back the roof.
Oh no, this whole bottom part just came off.
It did. What are we going to do?
Every single one.
That's okay.
It just came off too.
It's good enough for what I need it for. So now what we have to do is we have to
Put clothespins on it.
Yeah,
Let it
just
stay.
randomly put clothespins on it. That's what we want to do. Do I have... I need to find spots that are big enough and this stuff is moving in the right direction. So... Oi!
Oi.
Oi! Is that big enough?
I don't know. Stop asking me questions.
But you're supposed to have all the answers. Alright, it's wide enough. And it's long enough. And doggone it, people like it. Alright, so let's get started here.
Now you're gonna have a heck of a
This is
hard
gonna be
time.
unfun until I get this to a smaller size here.
I'm gonna have a really tough time trying to find the piece for this side.
No, I don't think so. Alright, so I've made a bigger hole. And let's just keep feeding that up. Just get some of this towel separated here so I can... Man, it is really hard to try to cut this straight. Alright, here we go. Now, so hopefully it's going to be wide enough, right? Is it? Do you know?
No.
That is not.
Wait, what?
That is not up there. If I come down here, it's wider. I gotta have enough to fold over the ends here. Oh, I'll probably do it.
Oh, fingers.
What? What about them?
They look very, very, very close to the scissors.
Eh.
I'm scared.
You're skewered.
I'm skewered.
You're skewered?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to cut this off about here.
I just grabbed like 5 handfuls. I don't even know how many clothespins I got. Your arm.
Yeah, excuse my arm, but it's kind of an
Okay.
awkward angle to cut at, so.
A very hairy arm.
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that might be able to use for something else, but not for this. Okay. So now we're getting down to pieces that I can manage to work with. Oy. Alright, so that should be okay. We're going to put a top piece over this like they would actually do for thatch roofs, especially A-frame type. So, I just need... Oops. Just need to cut this a little longer.
If anybody's watching, can I tell them what I'm doing tomorrow? Or do I have to wait until tomorrow?
No. Oh, no, don't, well, I don't know, it's up to you. It's your show.
I'm gonna paint, well, I'm gonna sketch it on camera, and then I'm also gonna paint it on camera, so it's gonna take a while, because I need everything to be perfect, but especially when it comes to
Just like your daddy, huh?
Mm-hmm. but I'm gonna be doing a building. I'm not sure if I want it like a castle or a house, or I don't know what I want it to be yet, because I don't think I want it to be a castle.
Okay.
But it's gonna be made out of desserts. So like
Made out of deserts.
desserts. So like there'll be some candy and like cupcakes and
You're a cupcake.
ice cream and stuff like that. So
Cool.
I
So yeah,
already knew that.
1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow on Sunday, Caitlin will be starting her art show, live stream art show. So she'll be doing live stream art, sketching and painting tomorrow, and she'll be doing probably a lot of your class projects and stuff for just live on
So-
stream, because gotta do them. So why not hang out and share it with other people and chat and stuff, right?
Also, another thing that I'm going to be doing sometime, just not tomorrow, is paint pouring.
Paint pouring, yeah. How exciting for me. I gotta figure out how to set that up so that A, everybody can see it, and B, it doesn't destroy the house.
They have a tarp.
Oh, they have a tarp, yeah. I
They
forgot.
put a tarp in the set.
You're a tarp. Wait, what? Doesn't even make any sense. What am I saying?
You never make sense.
Wait, what? Yes, I do. I always make sense. You just don't know what a good thing is.
That didn't make sense.
That absolutely made sense. Everybody in the world understood that.
Obviously not.
Well, everybody in my brain understood it.
That's only you.
Let's see. I gotta find a piece big enough in this leftover mess. Just one more piece. One more. Maybe here. Will that work? My lord. This is a pain. Wow, what an image for you guys.
Just red cloth.
Red cloth everywhere. Don't worry, we'll get this sorted. We will get this sorted. That's not wide enough. Stupid leg holes. Alright, let's see. I got here? No, that's not even close. Will that work? No. Is that big enough? No. May have to do some creative patching here.
Look, I made an alien.
Alright, well,
There's the mouth, there's the eyes, and there's the antenna.
you are so weird.
Should I show them my creation? If you take the eyes off, it looks kind of creepy.
Alright, well, we're just going to have to do the best we can do.
The eyes.
Because, you know, it's the best you can do. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut wide. We're just going to deal with this little hole here. And then we're going to patch it and say, we're going to say, so here's the story. You guys ready? This is the story. The tavern, there was a war came through, and there was a battle fought here, and some of their roof got torn up, and they had to patch their roof. So that's why there's going to be a big patch area in their roof. Right? We're going to go with that. How's that sound?
But what if he came and destroyed their roof?
Who? What? Him who? Oh, the alien? No, there's no aliens in my world. There's dragons. No aliens. I'm sorry, but no. No. No aliens. Not gonna have aliens. Not gonna do it. Let's make it a little bit wider, but I gotta get this cut down some so I can deal with. Oh, geez, almost got my shirt.
Watch.
Alright, go way wide here so that I have plenty of room to trim. And that should be
He's a pop-up
plenty long enough. We're just going to make a decision and go for it. Because, why not?
Hey, Dad.
Yo,
Look. He's a pop-up alien.
pop-up alien.
He
You're
can
very
flip.
weird. Nobody can see what you're doing, and so everybody just thinks you're weird.
I put clothespins on my pants to make it look like an alien.
Talking about pop-up aliens. Wow. Cutting towels kind of makes a mess.
You have pants?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it does.
You have pants.
I know. It's all over everywhere.
It's on me. Why? How is it on me?
I don't know. I'm probably going to have to vacuum in here when I'm done.
Me.
All right. So
You
let's
don't want
see
Lando eating
what we
that.
can do here. Which way is this stuff going? It's kind of going. Which way is it going? It's going this. Ooh. Did I get lucky? And oh,
It's Edward Scissorhands.
that'll work.
Edward Scissorhands.
Still weird.
I know.
I mean, really weird.
It's a
Okay,
mini
we're gonna
version.
lot at the end to. Oh, I got lucky. I didn't realize the stuff was running that way. So, all right, let's cut this
How much
off
more
a
are
bit.
you gonna need me? Can I take a break?
Yeah, you could take a break.
Here's all your clothes.
You little weirdo. You can go put them back. I don't need them now.
You're good?
I don't need it anymore.
Why wouldn't you need them?
Oh, true.
I'll just put them in here.
So this can actually be the top bit. So we'll keep that hanging out over here. And now we've got enough to do.
Bye.
Bye-bye. The stuff we do. So now, here's what's going to happen. So what I got to do is first I got to glue this down on here and let it set up. So we're just going to make sure we have enough over all the edges. Yep. We're going to smear some glue on here and glue this, just slop this towel on here. And you know what? I've never tried it with this towel thing before. I didn't do any test pieces, nothing. I'm just going to trust it and go for it. I'm just going to decide that it's going to look good, and by golly, it's going to. So, once again, we're going to get into a state where things are just drying, so we'll have to see where we can go from here. Alright, so we're gluing towel onto poster board, and it's way bigger than it needs to be, but we can always trim. We can't put it back. And we didn't have to make the patch piece. So, forget all about that story I told you. That's not what happened at all. Alright, let's do the other side. So I think that's good. We'll have to come back later once this is dried on here real good so it doesn't slip, and cut the holes in for the chimney. But not yet. Can't do that yet. Nope. This one's actually a little smaller. I still think it's big enough, though. Yeah. Just gonna have to be careful and make sure we center this, or we won't have enough to. Well, again, we can always patch it if we need to. All right, so smearing on the glue. And sometimes this is just what you got to do. Just go for it. Put a little more glue back here because this isn't sticking. Sometimes you just got to say, I think that's going to look good, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to trust in my ability to figure out whatever problems there are and deal with it. Because honestly, this is art. It's not life and death stuff. Nobody's going to die if it gets screwed up. And how can you screw up art? It's all subjective anyway, right? So if I decide I want it to look how it looks, well, good for me. So there. That's what we're going to do. All right. So nice and centered on here. We're just going to kind of press it on there a little bit. Be a little bit gentle with it because I don't want to destroy the stuff underneath, but this should... Now this is going to, again, this is all going to get water glue put over it. So there's going to be a lot more to stick it down than just this. But this is just so that we can have it tacked down enough so that we can do the trimming and get the hole cut for the chimney and all that stuff, because we don't want it all sliding around while we're doing that. So, what have we got here? Well, how are we doing over here? With, we need a little more glue there. Could use a little glue there, because that didn't stick. Ah. All right. So I think, honestly, that I am at a point now where I can't do much more because I'm waiting on glue to dry. So, thanks for stopping by, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed this. I'll sit here for a while and hold this together, but I'm sure you don't want to watch me do that. So, thanks for stopping. Thanks, Jens, for talking. And tell everybody I said hi. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook so that you get the announcements of what's coming. Tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be playing some board games. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Caitlin is going to be sketching and painting live and starting her art show. So, and then we're building up our schedule and trying to keep things on track. So just all the schedules are on the Twitch channel page. So you can check those out and make sure you keep up with us. But follow us on Twitter and Facebook because we announce all of them and there's more fun stuff. Until next time, game on.